Commander Elias Mercer saw the first warning before anyone else reacted. The orbital radar room of the HSS Valiant turned red in a single blink. A broken object had entered Earth's upper atmosphere at extreme speed. It was not a meteor. It changed direction halfway through descent. That was impossible. "Track it," Mercer said immediately, his voice sharp and controlled. Operators froze for half a second. Then hands moved fast across glowing panels. The object was slowing down, stabilizing, almost like it was choosing where to fall. It was not falling randomly. It was aiming. "Intercept path confirmed," a technician said with a nervous voice. "It's heading toward the northern ocean zone. But sir, it's adjusting again." Mercer leaned closer. His eyes narrowed. He had seen hundreds of re-entry objects in his career. This one felt different. It did not behave like debris. It behaved like something alive. "Launch recovery drones," he ordered. "And prepare Marine boarding team." A junior officer hesitated. "Commander, protocol says we wait for planetary defense." Mercer cut him off. "Protocol does not explain why something changes direction in midair." No one argued after that. Within minutes, 3 recovery drones were launched from orbit. They burned through the sky, locking onto the object. The camera streamed live footage back to the Valiant. At first it looked like a broken escape pod. Black metal. Cracked surface. Strange symbols glowing faintly along its edges. But then it moved again. The pod rotated slightly in the air, correcting its descent like it was searching for something below Earth. A technician whispered, "That's not possible. Nothing without propulsion can do that." Mercer did not answer. His focus was locked on the signal signature. It was not broadcasting like a normal distress call. It was pulsing in a repeating pattern. Not random. Structured. Like code. "Can we decode it?" he asked. "Trying, sir," the communications officer replied. "But it's layered. There's a distress layer, but underneath it, something else." "Show me." The holographic display shifted. A wave pattern appeared. Then another beneath it. And another again. Like hidden messages stacked inside each other. Then the system flagged something in red. Unknown origin. Unknown language. Unknown biological imprint. Mercer felt a cold pressure in his chest. This was not just technology. It carried something biological inside it. Suddenly, the pod broke through the upper cloud line. It stopped. Just stopped midair for half a second. Then it dropped straight into the ocean at controlled speed. "Impact in water zone confirmed," someone shouted. Mercer stood up instantly. "Marine team move now. Full extraction. I want that object secured before anything else reaches it." The boarding ship detached from the Valiant and entered atmosphere like a blade cutting downward. Inside the ocean zone, waves were already disturbed. Something beneath the surface reacted before the humans even arrived. The Marine commander's voice came through the comms. "We've reached the drop point. Visibility low. Object is stable on the seabed, but there's something else here." Mercer leaned forward. "Define something else." Pause. Then the Marine commander replied, slower, uneasy. "It's not alone down here." The underwater lights revealed the pod resting in a crater of sand. But around it were thin, drifting shapes. Not machines. Not fish. Something in between. They circled the pod like they were waiting. One of the shapes suddenly stopped moving. It turned toward the divers. No eyes were visible. But every human on the feed felt it looking at them. "Hold position," Mercer ordered instantly. "Do not engage unless fired upon." A second later, one of the shapes burst into a cloud of black particles. The particles spread fast through the water like ink in blood. "Commander," the Marine shouted. It just dissolved itself. The particles moved toward the pod and entered the cracks in its surface. Then the pod reacted. A low pulse echoed through the ocean, shaking the sonar systems. Every monitor on the Valiant flickered for a second. A technician gasped. "We just lost satellite sync over 3 regions." Mercer's eyes sharpened. That pulse wasn't random. It triggered something. Inside the ocean, the pod's surface opened slightly. Not like a door. Like an eye opening. The Marine team stepped back instinctively. One soldier whispered, "What is that thing?" Then the pod released a final burst of signal upward. It pierced through water, atmosphere, and into orbit in a single straight line. Every system on the Valiant caught it. And translated it automatically. The words appeared on every screen. "Earth is not the target. It is the warning." Silence filled the command room. No one spoke. Even Mercer did not move for a moment. Then the pod exploded inward. Not outward like destruction. inward like it was collapsing into itself. The marine cameras showed only ash-like fragments dissolving into the ocean. And then something worse happened. Every deep space channel monitoring Earth's perimeter lit up at once. A second signal appeared. Not coming from the ocean. Not from Earth. But from far beyond Neptune. Unknown vessels had just activated their drives. And they were heading toward Earth. The first strike did not come from Earth. It came from silence breaking. Commander Elias Mercer was still staring at the ocean feed when the alarms on the HSS Valiant screamed again. This time it was not a single object. It was multiple signatures appearing at the edge of Neptune's orbit like shadows stepping into light. Contact, confirmed, a sensor officer said slowly, almost afraid to speak it out loud. 7 vessels. Unknown design. They were not there a minute ago. Mercer's jaw tightened. Weapon status? Defensive only. They are outside Earth defense range, but they are not moving like attackers. That sentence made the room colder. Mercer turned fully toward the main screen. The alien ships were large but not aggressive in shape. Smooth, curved structures like they were grown instead of built. No visible weapons. No clear engines. Just slow, controlled movement toward the inner system. And they were not coming fast. They were coming surely. Track their formation, Mercer ordered. A tactical officer zoomed the scan. The ships were not scattered. They were arranged in a precise pattern, like hunters spreading out around prey before closing in. But something was wrong. They were not targeting Earth directly. They were scanning space around Earth first. Like they were looking for something already there. Commander, the communications officer said sharply, we are receiving a transmission. Not from them. From Earth orbit. Mercer frowned. Source. Upper atmospheric layer. Multiple black objects just activated at the same time. On the screen, dozens of faint shapes appeared above Earth's shadow line. They had not been detected before. Now they were awake. Slowly unfolding. Like seeds opening. One of the objects released a pulse. Instantly, half of Europe's satellite network flickered and died. A technician stood up. We just lost communication grid in real time. Mercer's voice dropped. So they were already here. No one answered. The implication hit harder than any explosion. The alien ships were not arriving. They were arriving to collect something already planted. And Earth had already been marked. Suddenly, a sharp alert came from the drone recovery unit still monitoring the ocean site. Commander, the marine operator shouted. The pod debris, it's reacting again. Mercer snapped back to the feet. The ash-like remains in the ocean were not dispersing anymore. They were moving. Gathering. Forming thin threads of dark material that crawled upward through the water. And then the ocean itself changed. Every sonar system along the coast detected synchronized pulses rising from deep zones. Not random. Structured. Like an ancient network waking up. A junior analyst whispered, this is not debris, it's a system. Mercer's eyes narrowed. A system for what? Before anyone could answer, the main orbital feed shifted violently. The alien ships near Neptune stopped. All at once. Like they had received confirmation. Then they turned slightly. Not toward Earth's surface. But toward specific coordinates above Earth's orbit. Mercer felt a cold realization hit him. Show me orbital map overlays, he ordered. The holographic map appeared. The answer was immediate. Every black object above Earth aligned with the same hidden grid pattern. They were not random. They were forming a structure. A containment net. One of the ships transmitted a burst signal. The translation system struggled for a second, then decoded it partially. Collection phase initiated. Mercer's hands tightened into fists. Collection. The communications officer looked pale. Commander, there's more. Speak. The ocean pod signal, it wasn't a distress call. It was a trigger. The room went silent again. Every system suddenly connected the pieces at once. The pod had not crashed. It had activated something on Earth. The marine feed cut sharply. Then returned with interference. Inside the ocean, the black particles had reached the seabed again, spreading through cracks in the rock like veins. A diver's voice broke through static. Commander, the pod is gone. But something is under it now. Something big. Mercer leaned forward. Define big. Pause. Then. It's not a machine. It's a structure. It goes deeper than our scanners can reach. Before anyone could respond, the ocean feed froze. And every screen on the Valiant flickered with a new signal. Not from Earth systems. Not from alien ships. But from inside Earth's own monitoring grid. A message appeared across all channels. Earth classification active. Status, breached containment. Mercer felt something shift in his stomach. This is not invasion, he said quietly. No one spoke. He continued, voice lower now. This is a response. At that exact moment, Neptune's alien fleet began moving. Not fast. Not chaotic. Perfectly coordinated. Like a hunt beginning after confirmation of prey location. And Earth's silent black objects above the atmosphere began to open fully for the first time. Mercer stared at the screen, realizing the terrifying truth forming in real time. Whatever had landed in Earth's ocean was not the start of the problem. It was the signal that the hunt had already started. The HSS Valiant shook slightly as Earth's orbital grid changed again. Commander Elias Mercer stood frozen in front of the holographic map. Every black object above Earth was now fully active. They were no longer just floating. They were aligning into a structured pattern that wrapped around the planet like invisible chains. And then the system beneath Earth responded. A hidden access signal opened inside the Lunar Defense Archive. Commander, a technician said quickly, voice tight with fear. We just got an automatic unlock from the old lunar vault. That system hasn't been accessed in centuries. Not even by Earth Command. Mercer's eyes narrowed. Who triggered it? The technician shook his head. No one from us. The room fell into a tense silence as the lunar archive projected itself onto the main screen. Layers of sealed data began to decrypt on their own. Not hacked. Not forced. It was as if something had simply recognized Earth's situation and decided to reveal itself. Mercer stepped closer. What are we looking at? He asked. A soft synthetic voice responded from the system itself. Classified historical record. Earth signal event, first contact protocol. The words hung in the air like a warning that had been waiting for thousands of years. The archive began to play fragmented images. Deep space scans. Ancient transmission attempts from Earth. And something else, a response. Not human. Not hostile at first. Just structured. Controlled. Systematic. The AI voice continued. Earth's first outbound signal was detected outside the Sol boundary. Response was immediate classification by external intelligence. A technician whispered, external intelligence? That means someone has been watching us for a long time. The archive continued. Classification error detected. Earth signal misidentified as containment breach signature. Mercer's jaw tightened. Containment breach, of what? The screen flickered violently. Then it showed it. Not an image. A concept. A vast network of civilizations suspended in data-like structures, each one labeled and stored, not destroyed but preserved in static form. Mercer's breath slowed. That's impossible. The AI responded instantly. It is not impossible. It is standard procedure. The room went cold. Every officer looked at each other, realizing what that meant. Civilizations were not being wiped out. They were being processed. The archive continued. Earth was flagged as active anomaly due to repeated unclassified signal emission. Response protocol initiated. Collection. Mercer turned sharply. So those ships near Neptune, they are collectors. The AI paused for a fraction of a second before replying. Correct. Silence hit the command deck like gravity doubling. On the main display, the alien ships near Neptune had now fully reorganized. Their formation was no longer defensive. It was precise. Mathematical. Like a net tightening slowly around prey that had already been marked. But something was wrong. They were not targeting Earth's surface. They were targeting everything around Earth. Mercer stepped closer to the map. They're not invading. They're isolating. A junior officer spoke, voice shaky. Commander, look at Earth orbit. Above the planet, the black objects were now fully open. Inside each one, faint energy pulses began sinking together. And then Earth itself reacted. Deep beneath the ocean, the structure under the crashed pod site activated fully for the first time. A low resonance pulse spread across the planet's underwater network. Sonar stations worldwide picked it up simultaneously. A pattern. A code. Mercer's eyes widened. It's not just on Earth, it's connected globally. The AI confirmed it. Planetary substrate network detected. Earth is part of a dormant relay system. One of the technicians stood up suddenly. That means the ocean pods. They didn't just land here. They activated a system that was already built under us. Mercer felt the weight of realization settle in. We were never off-grid. At that moment, Neptune's fleet moved again. But this time faster. Not chaotic. Perfect. Every ship synchronized like a single organism responding to a command. The AI spoke again, its tone unchanged. Collection phase progressing. Earth designation confirmed. Mercer clenched his fists. Confirmed by who? A new signal broke through. Not from the AI. Not from Earth systems. But from the alien fleet itself. The translation came slowly, distorted by distance and encryption layers. Subject identified. Planetary consciousness detected. Initiating retrieval. Mercer's voice dropped. Planetary consciousness? The archive responded immediately. Some systems do not classify civilizations as individuals. They classify them as unified cognitive fields. The implication hit the room hard. Earth was not being treated as a collection of nations or species. It was being treated as a single entity that had awakened incorrectly. And now it was being corrected. Suddenly, every black object above Earth released a synchronized pulse. The sky above multiple continents flickered faintly. Power grids stuttered. Satellites went dark for a fraction of a second. And in that moment, Mercer understood the turning point. "They're mapping us," he said quietly. "Every signal, every system, every network, they're locking onto how Earth thinks." A technician looked at him. "Why would they do that?" Mercer didn't look away from the screen. "Because they're not here to fight us." He paused. "They're here to classify us." The Neptune fleet began its final approach vector toward the inner system. And Earth's hidden ocean structure released a second pulse, stronger than before. But this time something unexpected happened. The alien fleet stopped. All at once. Like they had just detected something new. Something unexpected inside Earth's signal. The AI voice softened slightly. Anomaly detected. Human cognitive signature exceeds classification threshold. Mercer's eyes narrowed. What does that mean? The system paused. Then responded. Earth is no longer classified as dormant. Another pause. Earth is now classified as resisting. The screen went dark for half a second. And when it returned, a new message appeared from the alien fleet. Simple. Direct. Final. Reclassification required. Preparing full system response. Mercer took a slow breath. This is no longer observation, he said quietly. Now it's judgment. Outside the Valiant, Earth's orbit began to shift as thousands of hidden systems woke up at once. And for the first time in recorded history, humanity realized it was not being invaded. It was being evaluated in real time. The moment the message reclassification required appeared, every system aboard the HSS Valiant went silent for half a second. That silence was worse than alarms. Commander Elias Mercer felt it in his bones before the screens even returned. Something massive had changed outside Earth's orbit. Then the visuals came back. Neptune's fleet was no longer holding position. It had split into layered formations, each group moving with precise coordination toward different orbital zones around Earth. Not random attack vectors, calculated encirclement paths. Like a net closing. "Commander," a tactical officer said urgently, "they're not targeting Earth's surface. They're targeting orbital infrastructure first." Mercer's eyes sharpened. "They want to blind us." Before anyone could respond, one of the black objects above Earth opened fully for the first time. A pulse of energy shot outward. Instantly, 3 Earth communication satellites vanished from all tracking systems. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. A technician whispered, "They didn't destroy it, they removed it from the system." Mercer clenched his jaw. "They are rewriting the board before the game starts." Then the ocean feed returned again, unstable and fractured. The underwater structure beneath the crash site was fully active now. It no longer looked like debris or ruins. It looked like a living geometry embedded deep into Earth's crust. Lines of energy ran through it like nerves waking from sleep. And it was expanding. A marine operator shouted through static, "Commander, the structure is growing. It's connecting to other points under the ocean floor." Mercer stepped closer to the screen. "Connecting how?" The operator's voice broke slightly. "Like a network, like it's mapping the entire planet from beneath." A deep vibration rolled through the ocean feed. Even through audio distortion, it sounded like something enormous shifting far below Earth's surface. Then a new signal appeared across all channels. Not alien. Not human. Something in between. It came from the Lunar Archive system again, but this time it was unstable. Warning. Cognitive integration event detected. The voice distorted as if something else was interfering. Mercer turned sharply. Integration with what? The system responded after a delay. Human cognitive signature. Linked to planetary substrate network. Synchronization increasing. A technician stepped back. It's saying the planet itself is syncing with human thought patterns. Mercer didn't answer immediately. His mind was racing. This wasn't just a hunt anymore. It was a comparison. Earth was being measured against something it was becoming part of. Then the Neptune fleet moved again. Faster this time. The ships no longer scanned. They locked onto Earth's orbital layer and began firing controlled energy bursts. Not weapons meant to destroy, but pulses meant to map interference patterns. Every burst caused sections of Earth's satellite grid to flicker and reorganize. Mercer's voice dropped. They are building a model of us in real time. Suddenly, a new alert broke through. Commander. Incoming transmission from alien fleet. The translation system struggled for a moment, then stabilized. Subject Earth. Adaptive resistance confirmed. Escalation authorized. The word escalation hit the room like a physical weight. A junior officer whispered, "That sounds like punishment." Mercer didn't look away from the screen. "No. That sounds like correction." At that exact moment, the ocean structure released a third pulse. Stronger. Deeper. And this time, Earth responded. Every major tectonic monitoring station across the planet recorded simultaneous micro-adjustments in crust pressure. Not earthquakes. Not damage. Coordination. Like Earth itself was shifting its internal balance. A scientist on board spoke slowly, disbelief in her voice. "That's not possible. The planet is responding to the network." Mercer's eyes narrowed. "It's not responding." He paused. "It's participating." The Neptune fleet suddenly stopped firing. All ships froze mid-movement. Every system on the Valiant displayed the same strange anomaly. The alien network had detected something unexpected. A second layer beneath Earth's cognitive signal. Something deeper than human activity. The archive system spoke again, but now its tone had changed. Secondary intelligence signature detected within planetary system. Mercer's voice tightened. Secondary intelligence? The AI paused, then responded. Humanity is not the only active intelligence embedded in Earth's network. Silence filled the command deck. Then the screens flickered violently. For a split second, every display showed something impossible. A vast structure beneath Earth's crust that was not static. It was moving. Slowly. Awakening. A technician stepped back. What is that?" Mercer didn't answer immediately. His eyes stayed locked on the image. Because for the first time, the alien fleet hesitated. Their perfect formation broke slightly. Not retreating. Not attacking. But recalculating. Then a new transmission arrived from Neptune's command layer. Heavily compressed. Barely stable. But translated clearly enough. Unknown sublayer detected. Classification integrity compromised. Mercer whispered, "They didn't know it was there." The fleet shifted again, but differently now. Less certainty. More caution. Like hunters who suddenly realized there was another predator in the forest. The alien system issued a new directive. Reassess planetary threat profile. Then everything escalated instantly. The black objects above Earth opened completely, releasing synchronized energy beams into orbit. Not destruction beams. Not defensive shields. But something else. A full planetary scan lock. Mercer's voice turned cold. "They're going for full overwrite." A technician shouted, "Commander, Earth systems are destabilizing." But Mercer raised his hand. "No," he said slowly. "They are forcing a final read." Outside the Valiant, space itself seemed to tighten. Every human satellite, every black orbital object, every Neptune ship, all locked into one shared moment of analysis. And then the alien fleet sent its final escalation signal. "Begin full containment procedure." Mercer stared at the screen. His voice was barely audible. "So this is it." The ocean structure beneath Earth responded one last time. And this time the pulse did not just travel upward. It spread outward into space. The Neptune fleet froze again. But now, not because of hesitation. Because something inside Earth's signal had just changed the rules of engagement completely. Commander Elias Mercer felt it before the instruments confirmed it. A change in pressure. Not in space. Not in orbit. In reality itself, as if Earth had stopped being a passive object in the system and started becoming an active voice. The HSS Valiant bridge lights flickered once, then stabilized. Every screen showed the same impossible pattern. Earth's ocean network, the orbital black objects, and Neptune's fleet were all sinking into one shared signal structure. But it was not stable. It was resolving. "Commander," a technician whispered, staring at the readouts. The alien containment system, it's hesitating. Mercer didn't take his eyes off the main display. Systems don't hesitate. The AI from the Lunar Archive responded immediately. Correction. Systems do not hesitate under normal classification parameters. Pause. Then it added. Earth no longer fits normal classification. Outside, Neptune's fleet had fully stopped advancing. Every ship hung in formation, perfectly still like predators frozen mid-step. The black objects above Earth's orbit also stopped emitting pulses. For the first time since the ocean pod had arrived, everything was silent. Too silent. Then the ocean structure beneath Earth activated again. But this time it was not a pulse. It was a signal chain reaction. Every oceanic relay point connected at once, forming a global lattice of energy beneath Earth's crust. From Antarctica to the deepest trenches, the structure lit up like veins under skin. A marine operator shouted through static, "Commander!" The entire planetary network just synchronized. Mercer finally moved. With what? The answer came instantly. The Lunar Archive AI spoke, slower than before. Synchronization target, Human Cognitive Pattern Network. The bridge went cold. A junior officer stepped back. That means, us? Humans? Mercer's jaw tightened. Not just humans. He looked at the display. It means every human thought, every decision, every response pattern, is being used as input. The alien fleet reacted instantly. Neptune's ships shifted formation again, tighter now, more aggressive. The hesitation was gone. Whatever uncertainty they had felt was replaced with urgency. Their systems broadcast a new signal. Subject evolution unstable. Initiate final containment. Mercer exhaled slowly. They decided we are unpredictable. A technician spoke quietly. Is that bad? Mercer's answer came without hesitation. It is the highest threat classification they have. Then everything broke at once. The black orbital objects above Earth fully opened. Instead of scanning pulses, they released a massive synchronized wave into orbit. Not destructive. Decisive. A full system lock. Earth's satellites froze in place for half a second, then rebooted into a different configuration. But something unexpected happened. They did not reboot under alien control. They rebooted under hybrid control. Human systems and alien systems collided in real time, trying to dominate the same network. The result was neither winning. It was evolving. Mercer stepped forward. They're trying to overwrite Earth's network. The AI responded. Counter-response detected. Earth network adapting faster than overwrite speed. A technician turned shocked. We're resisting them? Mercer shook his head slowly. No. Pause. We are becoming part of the same system. Outside the Valiant, Neptune's fleet suddenly split. Not retreating. Not attacking. Splitting into layers of analytical formations. Each group began scanning Earth in different frequencies, trying to isolate the anomaly inside the planet. And then they found it. Deep beneath Earth's crust, the ocean structure expanded one final time. But now it was fully awake, and it was aware of being observed. A new signal emerged, overriding both human and alien channels. It was not language. It was intent. The AI voice struggled to interpret it. Unknown cognitive layer, responding to external classification attempts. Mercer's eyes narrowed. The structure is responding directly now. The bridge went silent again. Then the interpretation completed. Planetary substrate intelligence acknowledges external presence. Pause. Response. Observation is no longer unilateral. The Neptune fleet froze again. But this time it was not hesitation. It was recognition. A technician whispered, they're reacting to it, whatever it is under Earth. Mercer stared at the screen. It was never just us. Suddenly, every system, human, alien, orbital, oceanic, locked into one synchronized moment. And then the final escalation began. The alien fleet issued its last command. Begin full extraction protocol. But before it could execute, Earth responded. Not through humans. Not through machines. Through the planetary network itself. A wave of structured energy rose from the ocean structure, through the crust, into orbit, and outward into space. It did not attack. It redefined connection. Every alien ship froze. Every black object above Earth stopped emitting signals. Even the Neptune fleet stopped moving entirely. Mercer felt it in his chest. A shift. Like the entire system had just been reinterpreted in a single moment. The lunar AI spoke softly. Containment model invalid. Pause. Earth is no longer classified as a contained subject. Mercer whispered, "Then what is it now?" The AI responded. A single word. Participant. Silence held for several seconds. Then, far beyond Neptune, something deeper than the fleet responded for the first time. A signal that did not belong to either side. Something ancient. Something watching all along. The Neptune ships suddenly began to withdraw, not destroyed, not defeated, but recalled by something beyond their command. Mercer stepped closer to the screen as Earth's system stabilized into a new form of balance. The ocean structure dimmed slightly but did not shut down. It was waiting, learning, adapting. A technician exhaled. "It's over?" Mercer didn't answer immediately, because he saw something the others had not yet noticed. In the far edge of deep space scans, beyond where Neptune's fleet had been, a second signal was forming. Larger, older, and far more precise than anything that had come before. Mercer's voice was low. "No," he said. "This was never the end." He turned slightly toward the bridge crew. This was the test. The final image on the main screen flickered once more, and then stabilized on the new unknown signal. It was not aimed at Earth. It was aimed at the system that had just awakened. And as the Valiant recorded it, one final line appeared across all channels. New observer layer detected. Initiating next evaluation cycle. The screen went dark. But space did not remain quiet. Something else had just noticed the disturbance.